was reading this this article written by this comparatech.com, and it's a 2019 U.S. cybersecurity salary and employment study. And so what they do is they rank all the different states. And on this study, they rank like what states have the fastest growing need for cybersecurity professionals. And if I looked at the report right now, the top states, like for an example here, Virginia has 4,570 job vacancies in the cybersecurity industry.
And a lot of these skills that we're teaching, they can go right to work. I had a great meeting a few weeks ago with my advisory board, and what I presented, the skills the students are learning over the 2 years, they would hire those students.
Near the end of school, and it officially became a thing, and I signed up for it because before I wanted to get into paths, but nothing really stood out to me. But cybersecurity seems like such a, fun industry.
Well, I've always been really into computer programming since I was like 9. And then my sophomore year, I was thinking what I wanted to do for a job. So I looked up some jobs in cybersecurity. So then I thought I have to take a class because my school doesn't really offer helpful classes. So I looked up classes in Portland. And I stumbled upon the PATH's website where it said, coming soon, a cybersecurity course.
Hey, I'm Rob Simopoulos, and welcome to the Hilt. This week, we're excited to be speaking with the folks from the PATHS program here at Portland High School. And we've got Nate with us, who's running the program, Quinn and Maxim, who are the students, and we're having an amazing conversation about the cybersecurity program that's being run inside of the high school and their next path that they're going to take in their careers. Let's just start off with, let's do some quick introductions. So why don't we start with you, Nate? Why don't you go right ahead?
I'm Nate Jalbert. I'm the instructor at Portland Arts and Technology High School and the focus of cybersecurity.
Excellent. Maxim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Maxim. I'm the student at Portland Arts and Technology High School.
Awesome. And how about you, Quinn?
I'm Quinn Farrar. I'm a student at PATHS, also at Deering High School.
Awesome. All right, so Nate, let's kick it off and let's explain to everybody what the program is all about. I'm really excited when I met you and you were explaining to me that, what the PATHS program is and like what is PATHS and what's that all about?
So PATHS is a career and technical high school. So we're preparing students for careers in all different trades. And this is a brand new program, first in the state of Maine, that's focused solely on cybersecurity.
Okay. So the PATHS program itself, when I went on the website and I was looking at it, I know that you can go down the path of like electrical and woodworking, carpentry, dance, food. Is that right? You can go in all those different paths?
That's correct. And students will come and they'll spend half their day with us, and either in the morning or the afternoon, and then they go back to their sending school.
So their program is based in out of the Portland High School, right? And you guys are attracting students from all over Maine at this point in time?
Yeah, we have a pretty big region in southern Maine. Kids as far as Kennebunk can come, and up to Gray and New Gloucester as well.
Awesome. So they come in for half a day every single day to study a different curriculum than what most of the normal kids are taking, right?
Yeah, they get that high school experience, but they get skills as well that they can take with them wherever they end up after high school.
So I've definitely heard of PATHS before with the high school program. But when you came and visited me and you told me, hey, we're doing this on the cybersecurity side, that got me really excited. I was like, wow, what a great thought. How did this come about? How did all of a sudden cybersecurity become part of the PATHS program?
I got to compliment the director of the school, who's also kind of our principal. He wanted to start a real technology program at the school, which had been many years since they had one. And just looking at the industry trends and a needs analysis about what local businesses are looking for, and just how the industry's changed over the last 10 years or so, and getting away from the kind of break fix and more disposable technology and really focusing on the security aspect of it.
That's great because, I think traditionally people would think that, all right, at the high school level, we're going to teach, some basic computer science, right? And not really get into the cybersecurity side, which quite often will follow. Was there any consideration to say, okay, let's go down the computer path before the security side? Like how did that?
What we're finding is a lot of high schools, the sending schools are taking on the computer science. There's a big initiative in the state to start including a lot of AP computer science. So students can get that experience at their sending school, and then they can come here and get some real skills in cybersecurity, just focused on that. And those computer science skills help a lot if they come in with that knowledge, because we're using those skills. I'm teaching them as well,
Right.
the basics of computer science. And so looking at software, how to break the software, how is it working, and are there holes in it, and why are there so many vulnerabilities
Right. Exactly.
out in the wild?
And what's your background? You come from the IT sector in some way, shape, or form?
Yep. Yeah. I started working IT in high school and went to college, and I worked a few different companies in a school district doing, I got into the security realm just kind of out of a hobby, and also was kind of thrown into managing the enterprise antivirus software for the district, and had to fight with Configure, that worm. And that was kind of like, all right, this is neat. Like this is a game, and how could I turn this into a career? Then a teaching job opened up, and I kind of morphed that teaching job into a cybersecurity program.
Just sort of shifted.
Yeah.
So did you get tagged, or was it, hey, would you be willing to do this, or were you part of this concept?
It was just kind of, I come from a long line of educators in my family, and it's kind of a natural progression to get the work experience and then be able to teach it to the students.
Yeah, excellent. So I was speaking with a high school student actually last week who was sharing with me that they're really interested in getting to cybersecurity. Now, this is a senior in school already who really wants to go take a cybersecurity college course. And when I really started asking some questions, one of the questions I posed is like, are you one of these passionate people about computers? And, his answer was, no, not really. And so I started thinking a little bit about, when we talk about cybersecurity, it's not necessarily, it's technical, but sometimes there's other avenues that people take, more programmatic, building cybersecurity programs and so on. In your curriculum, what are the students studying? What is it, technical focus? Like what exactly are you going down?
Trying to give them a broad range of where you might end up in this career. So to give them a taste of what it's like to be an analyst, because that's a typical entry-level position. See what that job is like. Obviously look at networking as well, and securing those devices, forensics. So that will come later on in the second year of the program. What does it look like to investigate a crime that's happened with a computer? And so getting into kind of all over this career choice, and hopefully make an informed decision as they go forward, and what happens after high school.
Excellent. And so at what stage would a student join in the program, right? Being a freshman, come right in? As a junior.
We do, we have sophomores at the sending schools. They can sign up for a visit, come in, spend the day with me, see what the program's all about, get to talk to current students, and get a good feel if it's the right decision.
Awesome. And so what do you guys have in the class right now? Do you have like a lab and everything all set up?
Yeah, we have a great lab. So focused a lot on virtualization. So giving students that experience, what it's like to manage multiple virtual machines. So right now they all have their own private LAN setup. And then we have it connected to our classroom WAN. So we're simulating what an attacker would see on that network. So doing some port scans right now, running a web server, looking at SQL injections and some of those older threats. So that's what the students here have been able to do so far. And so getting that experience with VMs, and then we will be shifting into a cloud environment as well. So students will have access to the Microsoft cloud to see what it's like to kind of tie those. You have our kind of on-site, our on-premises equipment, tying it into a cloud environment, and all those security implications. Some of the labs in the future, students will set up site-to-site VPNs between their different private networks and on their virtual lab equipment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Quinn, when did you join? Did you come in your junior year?
Yeah, currently my junior year.
You're currently in junior year. And what about you, Maxim? When did you start?
So I've started this year in senior year, regrettably, because I'm going to miss the second year of the class when we go into forensics. But
Oh, okay. So looking back, you wish you would have joined as early as possible.
well, I did join as early as possible because this is a new thing this year
Right.
for paths. But I wish that I wish I was a year behind.
Oh,
I
okay.
could-
So I see. You're only going to get like the 1 year of training through the program.
Yeah.
And then after, okay, I got it. So here's the big question I have for all you guys. So some interesting statistics. I was reading this this article written by this comparatech.com, and it's a 2019 U.S. cybersecurity salary and employment study. And so what they do is they rank all the different states. And on this study, they rank like what states have the fastest growing need for cybersecurity professionals. And if I looked at the report right now, the top states, like for an example here, Virginia has 4,570 job vacancies in the cybersecurity industry. They're number one. If we go down the list a little bit down to number 5, North Carolina has 1,397 job vacancies currently available in the cybersecurity market. And then, unfortunately, but it's just the fact, the bottom 5 states, Maine is in that area. But still, even in the state of Maine, they're saying that there are 130 job vacancies in the cybersecurity market. So I think, in my opinion, there's a huge opportunity when you guys come out of school, whether you finish in high school and then move into cybersecurity into an employment position, or whether you move on to college and university. What's the path, Nate? Where are these students going to go? Are they going to go right into the workforce after graduating, or are they going to college, university? What's the path?
It's really up to them. I don't have that mindset that you need to do 4 years in college, and that's somewhat of a disservice that some schools do. They drill into the students, and a lot of these skills that we're teaching, they can go right to work. I had a great meeting a few weeks ago with my advisory board, and what I presented, the skills the students are learning over the 2 years, they would hire those students right out of high school with some certifications, which is awesome. And also right now working with some colleges as well to help build some partnerships, because a lot of the courses they're teaching we're doing the same certifications at Paths. So how can we build those partnerships? I had a great success in my previous teaching job with a local community college, so I hope to carry that on down here as well.
Right. So are you starting to build relationships with local companies to see if they'd be taking these students after they graduate and coming into like sort of early career positions and learning and growing in those groups? There's got to be a need. We just read a bunch of numbers saying that there's vacancies.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. And hope to start getting the students out doing job shadows and getting a real feel for what the careers are like. And yeah, so based on the discussions we had a few weeks ago, local businesses are looking at us.
Right. So Maxim, I got a question for you. So how did you find out about the Paths program? Like, I know the school talks to some students about it specifically, but like when you were looking at that, was cybersecurity like the thing that was flashing at you that said, oh, I want to do that? Or, how did it come about that you selected that?
So, schools will often have like times where you check in with your like family and like your teacher,
right?
Check about grades and stuff. And it came up that I was interested in like computer stuff. And our vice principal was like, hey, maybe cybersecurity might be coming up in the Paths. And I was like, well, that'd be cool if it happened. And then flash forward to like near the end of school, and it officially became a thing, and I signed up for it. Because before I wanted to get into Paths, but nothing really stood out to me. But cybersecurity seems like such a, fun industry to get into, and it felt like it was something that I wanted to get into. So that's how it came up to me.
That's awesome. How about you, Quinn? How did that happen?
Well, I've always been really into computer programming since I was like 9. And then my sophomore year, I was thinking about what I wanted to do for a job. So I looked up some jobs in cybersecurity. So then I thought I have to take a class because my school doesn't really offer helpful classes. So I looked up classes in Portland. And I stumbled upon the Paths website where it said, coming soon, a cybersecurity course. So I went to my guidance counselor. I wanted to join, but they hadn't even hired a teacher yet. Waited 5 months, and then finally at the end of the school year, I got the meeting.
Oh, that's awesome. So you both have passions for computers, is that right? Would you say that's true? Quinn, you do, because you said that you've been doing a lot of programming from the age of 9.
I'm really interested in it, yeah.
Yeah. Tinkering yourself, or is this a family thing where you guys have been working together on projects, or?
My family doesn't really like technology.
Yeah.
I'm the one who has to fix everything for them.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. How about you, Maxim?
I've been generally into technology for a while. I've always been looking for outlets to, learn about it, and this seemed like the best outlet.
The best out. Oh, excellent. And so what are you guys hoping to achieve out of this? We went back and we spoke, 2 seconds ago about possibly, going through high school, and maybe it's too early to even ask. Maybe, Maxim, it's better fit for you because you're in your senior year and you're thinking about this. What's the next step for you? Do you see yourself going to college or university or looking at that? Or do you think you want to try to jump right into, a job and work at that point in time?
So my goal is in, the Paths cybersecurity, we're working towards 2 different certifications. So my hope is to get those certifications and get headway into at least finding like a more baseline job in the field and using that to pay through to get a degree at the local college.
Okay, excellent. So what are the 2 certificates that you guys are going for?
The CompTIA IT Fundamentals and CompTIA Security Plus.
So when you guys finish off the program, if you did a 2-year program, you'd come out hopefully with those 2 certificates if you went and wrote the tests successfully, right?
Possibly more. I'm also getting Palo Alto PCC NSA or NC. I forgot the name of the cert, but also working towards that and some other smaller certifications as well. But the CompTIA ones are kind of the pinnacle. That's really what I want the students to earn.
Excellent. I think that's great. Quinn, what about you? What's your plan after you finish and graduate? Have you thought about that yet? You still got, another year and a half?
Yes, but I have thought about it. I want to go to college, like a 4-year thing, and then I'm hoping to get a really nice job in cybersecurity. I'd like to work right out of high school, but I also want to learn more.
Right.
So yeah.
So what would you want to learn more about? Anything specific, like
computer programming?
Computer programming. Excellent. I think that's awesome. So tell me, because I don't know necessarily what you guys are doing on a daily basis at the school, but I'm sure you're doing a lot of fun stuff. Nate touched on a little bit about it. Quinn, why don't you start? What's your favorite thing that you guys do in class right now?
So I like the virtual machines we use, and
Yeah.
I like specifically Linux because it has a lot of interesting things about computer programming in it and like code and stuff like that. And I like how it's hard to mess it up because I tried to computer program on my own computer and I broke it. That's in the past. I think just like the options we get and like how much I can learn from it and like everything I'm given and all the help I'm given, which I can't get out of online courses like I've taken before for coding languages.
So the fact that you have like a professor who can help you, a teacher who can help you with any questions that you have and give you some guidance, that's definitely good. Maxim, what's your favorite thing that you guys do in class?
I think my favorite thing, at least thus far, has been like dipping our toes into all these different like coding languages for these different activities, like learning some SQL or like Python, all these different languages that I've, always been looking to learn, and
Awesome.
now we're looking at them.
So basically learning new stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's great. Well, that's the reason why you're there. So here's the big question. So in our company, we actually hire quite a lot of people who aren't cybersecurity professionals, who come in sort of early career or even late career, but are really excited about cybersecurity and are looking for like an early stage opportunity to come in and start working. And when they come into our company, sometimes there's a little bit of a culture shock on the cybersecurity side because our cybersecurity posture is very tight. We try to run things very secure and do all the things that we really should be doing properly on the cybersecurity side. Do you guys feel that since you started in the program that you have changed the way that you sort of interact with technology today from a cybersecurity perspective? Well, Maxim, I'll let you go first. What do you think?
I'd say that I definitely have. I've had a rough history with them, not exactly having the best cybersecurity posture.
Okay.
But since I've been taking this course, I've picked up a few things here and there that I should be doing that I hadn't been, and so I feel like I've definitely improved. Looking for certification on sites and
Right.
Yeah,
so you changed your posture a little bit. You're realizing. What about you, Quinn? Have you changed your cybersecurity posture a little bit more now that you've started the program?
I definitely have. I changed a lot of my passwords after I learned that the password I've been using is unsafe.
Good.
I also learned how to avoid getting hacked because I was hacked 3 times actually within this year.
Wow.
On my Gmail, which my Gmail is connected to everything, including my banking account. So I learned how to better secure that and keep all those separate. The classes taught me to do that I never really thought I should do before because Gmail has that like, oh, save this password thing. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I learned from him that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Excellent. I think that's a really great thing. I think the people that, our team members at our company change their posture as well. And then where that needs to go a little bit further is starting to help like your family and your friends understand that those things are, getting that up to snuff is important too. So I wanted to dive in a little bit with you guys on another topic, which is social media, right? So you talk about being hacked or even putting your data out there. And the way I see a lot of, teenagers today interacting with social media is really interesting. And I'm not here to say that it's wrong or right, but, using apps like TikTok and using, Snap and Instagram and basically posting their whole lives and everything that they're doing and sharing all types of things. What's your perspective on social media and how that cybersecurity side of that? Quinn, why don't you go first? What are your thoughts there?
I think social media is extremely unsafe in the way people my age use it. I really don't like it because I have been hacked on it multiple times before. People put so much information on it and they don't understand how easily it can get out. And I've seen the outcomes of it. And it's also why I'm interested in this field because I'd like to prevent those outcomes. I've seen how it affects people. And I think something that's not talked about on social media at all is how easy it is to get attacked.
It's great. I agree with you. So you're basically also expanding your attack surface by giving, everybody all of this information about yourself, right? So they can utilize that if they really want to, to target you. What about you, Maxim? What do you think of social media and the cybersecurity side of it?
So, to start off, I've never been a huge fan of social media as just like a general thing. But
Right.
as well, I see some of these things on social media and I really makes me think. Like, I don't know, I've looked over like the shoulder of some of my friends, and Snapchat has this ability where you can track where all of your friends are. And that seems a little bit suspect to me. But also, like targeted phishing emails are a lot easier to make when you've got a whole like library basically of somebody's life that you can target.
Right.
You
can take that information and then start to launch campaigns at them and so forth.
Right.
Absolutely.
Pretend to be somebody that they know.
Right. Absolutely. I think the first time I saw Snap and the ability was to actually locate everybody at one time and see them on a map and know exactly where they were was pretty wild. I had never seen anything like that before, and everybody has that. And I think that they're beyond the cybersecurity side. There's some social challenges there where people are seeing, their friends hanging out with people without them, which might impact them a little bit and so on. So it goes a little bit further than even just the cybersecurity side. One is you have the social aspect of it, but also, the fact that people know where you are at all times, which is in essence, you're using technology to do that, puts you at risk too. Nate, what do you think? What are your thoughts on social media?
I had an interesting comment a student made yesterday. So the student was learning about public key encryption and exchanging public keys and then decrypting it with a private key. And her response was, "Oh, I'd rather use this than Snapchat."
Oh,
So
no way.
It was really cool to see that happen. Just like, all right, there's better ways to do this.
Absolutely. So opening the mind towards that. So for Quinn and Maxim, so if you were going to speak to another student and they're considering taking the program like this, what would you share with them? What are some things that they should really think about? Whether, maybe good, bad, could be all types of different things. Maybe it's more specifically about, what this student should expect, but what would you like to share with somebody who's thinking about taking the program? Quinn, what do you think?
Well, I think I'd like them to know how you have to actually be really interested in this kind of thing because, like, you learn things that aren't exactly the most amusing things and boring things about files and stuff like that. And you have to, and it's necessary to learn all that to learn anything interesting. And also, it's, not exactly the easiest thing to learn, especially pure programming languages because it's learning a complete new language like you're learning Spanish or something. So you have to really actually want to do that. I don't think anyone should take the class just so it's something to do or something to get out of regular school.
Excellent. What about you, Maxim? What would you like to share with a student?
Yeah. Well, so, first, you've got to be interested in this. I've got a lot of friends at school who took, our school's coding class because it's stupid easy. The year before it was Swift, but now it's JavaScript and it's making basic games and stuff. And it's not the same. You've got to be really interested in it. And also, I'd recommend to anybody that, I've been doing this myself because I haven't, always kept up with how coding languages work. So I've looked into sites and stuff to learn coding language stuff on the side so I can come in and know somewhat even better what I'm doing, because there's a lot of stuff and it can become overwhelming if you're not doing it, with gusto, getting through it. You can really, it's a very easy class to just I'll put that off, and you kind of have to be interested in learning the stuff.
Got it. Absolutely. I'm going to ask Nate the same question, but before, I want you guys to think a little bit about coming up with your favorite tip for somebody in regards to what they can do to get better cybersecurity posture. Okay, Nate, what do you think? What something you'd want to share with a student for them to know about the program?
I want you to be a lifelong learner. That's really my goal, because this field is always changing. It's not stagnant, and I'm trying to instill those skills, as long as all the technical abilities, but just getting the habit of learning new things, learning on your own. I'm here to support them, but they need to have that initiative to go out and learn something new.
Awesome. So what are the future plans with the program? Any big changes? I know you mentioned that you're looking at other certifications for them. Anything else that we should know about where this program's going to move to?
Hopefully more competitions.
Okay.
We've done Capture the Flag already. Hope to include some more of that. I'm working on some of my own Capture the Flags just for Path students as well. And getting that access to the Palo Alto network, which is going to be awesome. That the students will be able to work with their equipment in our lab. They can just add it right to their virtual machines and earn that certification. Some physical security as well.
Good.
So getting some more hands-on labs. And we're going to do a security audit of the campus.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
The director approved a lab assignment for us to go and look at our school, and
That's
are
excellent.
we meeting the requirements?
So maybe there's some listeners who don't know what Capture the Flag is. Tell us what that involves with you guys when you did that.
So the Capture the Flag is a friendly competition to look at a variety of cybersecurity topics and learn a lot of new skills. The students in this program had maybe 2 weeks in the class before we started it, so a lot of them were brand new, still learning the fundamentals of how a computer works, and thrown right into a Linux shell and needing to learn Linux commands, text editors, breaking software, breaking websites. And then when you do that successfully, you get a flag out of it and put it into a website, you get some points, and keep going.
Awesome. That's
A
great.
lot of great teamwork too that I saw.
That's excellent. Did you guys earn some flags?
Yeah. So our classes are split up into A and B, and I was feeling really good about how many points I was getting, and then I looked at theirs, and their top two teams were beating my team significantly.
Quinn's team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you were probably in one of those winning teams. But it was an interesting experience to me, because a lot of the stuff was stuff that you were like learning on the spot then to try and figure something out, and seeing all the different teams like try and figure things out. The person that I sit next to was on a different team, but we still worked together because we just wanted to know it at that point.
That's fun. So your team got some flags, Quinn.
Yeah, so we had two teams in my class. The other team beat us, but not by much. I like to point that out. It was very challenging because a lot of things I did not have any background knowledge on at all, and neither did my teammates really. So it was like teach yourself on the spot, find it on Google. Our teacher couldn't help us. It's a competition, so it was challenging, but I liked it. It was nice.
Awesome. And so tell us what the school needs. Like, I know that in any school, there's always budget challenges, funding, all that different type of stuff. You're talking about getting, some new technology in there. You guys have this lab. What does a school like yours really need in order to be successful and take the program to the next level?
Right now, it's building those industry partnerships. Lab is in great shape, and it should be for many years. And just adding little things here and there. Today I was working on getting security cameras, so the students can get some experience building that network. So connecting IP cameras together,
Excellent.
storing that data, and trying to recruit more non-traditional students into the program as well, because that's always a challenge, especially in a very computer-centric skill set. Yeah, funding we're good. I think we got.
Oh, excellent. That's great to hear. Perfect.
So yeah, there's not many wants we have right now. So
Perfect.
We're in really good shape.
So I can share with you that, I took, I took security training courses in college. And one of the key things that happened during that program is the person who led that program basically got what we called a co-op program or internship for every single student at a company somewhere. And I was pretty lucky at that time. I actually was able to work at the Toronto International Airport as like my co-op, which then sort of gave me the experience to get going and so on. So I think those industry relationships, making relationships with local companies and other companies who are looking for, talented individuals like Maxim and Quinn here can really be beneficial if they do decide, whether they go all the way through college or go right into the workforce. The last question I have for you, and then I want to hear some tips, at least one tip, everybody should share one as to what people should do to improve their cybersecurity posture. But what should the parents know on the path side, in regards to reviewing it with their students? Because I've actually had conversations with many parents who have said, like, we love this path program. We really want our kids to go in there. And I don't even know that they knew that cybersecurity existed. I had this conversation like a year ago with actually 2 different families when we were just talking together. What should they know about the PATHS program, and maybe more specifically on the cybersecurity side? Anything specific?
I know how much time students are investing getting to PATHS, and I want that class time experience to be worth their time as much as possible. So they want them to get those returns. I want the students to earn the certifications, which is really important. I've had countless students over the last 7 years earn all different CompTIA certifications, and it's great to see that success when a student's able to earn that. And getting them ready for work. I want them to be ready after they leave me. And I actually have some former students on my advisory board now, and they're very successful in this industry, and it's great to see that.
Excellent. All right. Give us one tip. If you're going to give a tip to a listener, what's the one cybersecurity tip that you give to them in regards to how they improve their cybersecurity posture? Quinn, you go first.
Make very strong passwords.
Make strong passwords. All right, Maxim, you ready?
Yep. I gotta say, I think my favorite one is just checking for those the certificate, because it's so easy to do, and it can really save you a lot of trouble.
Tell us, how do you check the certificate?
Right next to the URL, there's a little icon with a lock on it, and you just, if it's, there, you click on it, and it's got a certificate, and it encrypts your data and adds like a layer of security to the site.
Excellent. Quinn, so most people don't even think about that when they're on those shopping sites and so on. Quinn, how long should the password be? What's a secure password? Any thoughts?
20 characters won't hurt.
Right.
If the website allows it. I go for like 16 now. I used to just go for like what the minimum the website would offer. Like they had like 5, I'd go for that. 8, I'd go for that. But I think going over 10 characters is good, but like go pretty high.
Excellent. I agree with you. Absolutely. All right, Nate, you're the last one. Give us one good cybersecurity tip.
Following what Quinn was saying, was one of the skills the students learned is how to use a password manager. That was one of the first things they had access to, was learning what that software would do, and it makes managing those long passwords even easier. And my suggestion would be learn 2-factor authentication. So figure out some way what works best for you. And the students are going to use YubiKeys in our lab. That was our solution. So
great. Love it.
Yeah. So they'll be getting them very shortly and learning what that looks like.
That's excellent. Well, I think first off, kudos. I think the program is awesome. I shared some numbers in the need inside of the cybersecurity industry, and the shortfall on the number of available people to hire is going to be in the millions. So they're saying in a short period of time, and the stats I shared with you are already showing that there's a shortage there. So I think the program's awesome. I think you're setting students up for success in their careers. I think that it's great that you guys have joined in here, and I really think it's awesome that you're sharing your thoughts about the program, because I know there's a lot of other students who are thinking about where they're going to go next, and the fact you've shared some of your time and your feelings on the program, I think are going to go a long way. So thanks everyone for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.